need to do? I'm not gonna use the hint system, but I think if I remember, I have to get a laser cutter, the serum, and the trans key. Yeah, Prematin, I agree. They don't make games like this anymore, but they did. This was made last year. Let's check out what Louis has to say.
Hey, what can I do for you, Mife? Sorry, Mife. I ain't got nothing that fancy here. Sorry.
Yeah, of course you won't have anything. He's a diner owner, but helps us get some points.
I don't recognize it.
What shall we do? Maybe the pawn shop has that laser thing.
Perhaps I've been wrong about you, Murphy. What can I do to help? No. Next.
Yep. Figured as much.
Are you going to ask me about everything you've ever heard of?
If it annoys you as much as it seems to be. Yep.
What is that?
Ah, crap. Didn't help. Electronic shop. Let's see if they can help with
more
laser.
questions? Why you gotta keep coming back with more questions?
'Cause that's what I do, buddy.
Sorry. I don't know if this has anything to do with this trans key you're talking about, but after that 48 Pandian flew off, I circled back. I took a quick look around and saw a fresh hypo on the ground along with a few cards. I grabbed them. If you want them, just don't tell the cops I gave them to you.
Cool, we're getting
You
somewhere.
think we got something that expensive here? And you know you gotta have a license to carry one, right? Look, I have one of my own. I'll give it to you. But only if you swear that it squares us up.
It sure does, because we're looking better than ever now. What do we get?
These 4 of clubs cards were found scattered all over the alleyway by Zach after the abduction. I think Bauer's trance interrupter key may be the phrase 4 of clubs.
Cool.
This laser blade can help me free Mason Bowers from Cézanne.
Swing. The force is strong in this one.
Well, these baseball cards may open the drawer in Mason Bowers' safe.
Huh. These baseball cards may open the drawer in Mason Bauer's safe. Well, let's take a trip to Mason Bauer's house and see what's
Before
what.
I return to Cézanne, I'll need a laser blade to cut Bowers free, the trance interrupter serum, and his trance key. Man, this is a nightmare. I fly back to the beach house to see if the cards Mason had on him can be used here. When I arrive, there's a familiar face waiting at the door, looking for an update.
You found Mason. Is he okay?
Well, physically, but mentally he's had a taste of his own medicine and it doesn't suit him.
Where is he?
It's a place called Cézanne, and I can't tell whether he's being held for his own protection or against his will.
So, what do we do now? If we don't know why he's there, we shouldn't get the police involved, right?
Yeah, these boys play for keeps. I'm afraid if we break in on him, Mason may disappear for good.
You said you don't think he knows who he is. What does that mean?
He's been shot up by something called the trance inducer. And if we don't get Mason's memory back, all 3 of us may be stuck at this dead end.
I'm so grateful you're doing this. I don't know who else I could turn to. I still care for Mason, but we haven't been close in a long time. You seem so tough and self-reliant.
Well, being a PI is a very rough business.
Isn't the rough business always more exciting? Maybe when Mason is back to his normal state and out of danger.
Look, I'm no hero. I'm doing this to get my memory back. But perhaps later we could talk about this.
Perhaps is so full of possibilities. Is there a more intriguing or tantalizing word?
Maybe.
Perhaps. But right now I've got to find something to help me get Mason out of Cézanne.
I'll leave you to it. Good luck, Tex. I've got to go. But you know how to get a hold of me if there's anything you need.
Ooh, anything? Hubba hubba. Dalvin Zero, buddy, I think you're in for a nice surprise there, talking about Ultima Underworld 3.
I just don't get it. These women, why are they interested in you?
Maybe you need to get your optical sensors checked.
Wow. Between Ariel, Taylor, and the look Mojo is giving you, I'd say losing 7 years has done wonders for your charisma. Hey, have you considered wiping a few more? Oh, and that was a nice catsuit, by the way. Can we pick up one in my size?
Dalvin Zero, Ultima Underworld 3, well, they just announced, they just had a Kickstarter for Underworld Ascendant, which is essentially a continuation of the Ultima Underworld series, but they don't have the rights to use the name Ultima. It's not going to be called Ultima, it's going to be called Underworld Ascendant. It takes place in exactly, apparently, the same sort of world, the Underworld. It's made by the folks who made the first games, the folks from who are behind Looking Glass Studios that got financed, and it will be coming out when they actually finish it, maybe I think in 2016 or something like that. But they got financed, and they're thinking about GOG as well. His safe. Where was his safe? Ah, his safe was below. I went to the wrong place. No, this is the bathroom. And of course I gotta do this for the fans.
Tsunami! Tsunami! Tsunami!
Ah, classic.
The drawer inside this safe needs 2 additional cards. Whatever's in here must be so important that Mason Bowers keeps both the cards with him at all times.
And we got the cards right here. By the way, guys, if you haven't done so already, kindly follow the GOG.com Twitch channel, because they have some really cool plans for the future for both GOG.com and their Twitch channel. And maybe, you know, showing your support and following them will help them make those plans a reality much easier, because they've got some really cool things planned, and they're working on some nice things for you guys. And I would like to thank everyone who has so far and all along my streaming for GOG subscribed to my YouTube channel and followed me on Twitch. I know I'm not as active on my own stuff as I should be. I'm sorry for that, I didn't have the time to be, but thank you anyway for following and subscribing. It helps me know that what I'm doing is, well, liked and enjoyed, and that makes all the difference in the world. So thank you guys very much for that. I think these are the cards, yep. And what do we have? We have the...
This must be the trance interrupter medication. And there's only 1 dose.
I think we got everything we need to get Mason Bowers out of there, but there's only 1 dose of that medication, and I would... So, need another dose for me. Hey, Ebenezer, thank you. Outsar. I'm nice and I have soft skin. Okay, how would you know? Who told you? But thanks for that. Any compliment I get, it's a compliment. I think we're ready to go back to Seisen. Because, let me check my inventory. We got the Trance Interrupter Serum, the Laser Blade, and I think this, the 4 of Clubs, is what is his key, trance key.
This is Trance Interrupter Serum, the only thing that can bring back memories. And there's only dosage for 1 person. If I use it on Mason, maybe you can tell me where more serum is.
That's pretty cool. This pretty makes sense.
I still cannot believe this speeder is all mine.
Oh yeah, the Speeder 5000. Go Seisen. And we're back in. Didn't have to sneak in. Pretty cool.
Listen, how are you today? How's everything going here at the camp? 4 clubs. 4 clubs. 4 clubs, Mason. Come on, wake up. Come on. Please, Mason, wake up.
This reminds me of how I talk to some people at work.
Come on.
Tex, where are we?
Straight talk.
In a whole lot of trouble.
Is that the trans interrupter? What have you done?
I busted my ass to get you out of here. You better be worth it.
But I did it to myself. On purpose!
What? Why the hell would you do that?
Oh, God. Now they can find out everything I know. How could you do this?
Oh, well, maybe because I want my memory back. Your friend said you're the only one who could help.
My friend?
Yeah, the one who came for the cryo chamber.
So he has it. The cryo chamber's safe?
Yes, he has it. So where do I get more serum? There was only one dose and you're safe. And what the hell's my trance key?
Margaret injected you. She's the only one who could have helped you.
Yeah, and she's dead. And I'm pretty sure her head was the main ingredient in that soup can of yours. Why'd you cut off her head?
I didn't. It was Maldonado. I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, well, don't mince words. Because it was your idea.
Margaret double-crossed us. She came up with her own plan, but I think we stopped her before she could give it to the translator.
Well, you don't come across as totally insane.
She knew things, but she'd given up hope. However, some of us still believe. It wasn't fair of her to take those things to the grave. And I have the technology to tap what's inside her memories. Even after death.
That sounds awesome.
Well, I stand corrected. You are insane.
Ooh, that looks like a long way down.
You were in on it with us. We were all looking for the Tesla egg. But you're the one who found it in the wall of your apartment. I was still working from the inside, letting you all know what the translator was doing. By then, Margaret had stolen the egg and disappeared. I was afraid she switched sides, so I hired Maldonado to do surveillance on the Ritz, hoping she'd show up.
Yeah, and she did. She and that big mutant came by and injected me.
I caught up to her at the door of her apartment. All I wanted to do was talk, but she clutched her chest and collapsed. Dead before she hit the floor. Decapitation was the last resort.
So when does the abduction come in?
I called Maldonado just when the translator's henchmen arrived. Maldonado brought the cryo chamber while I created a diversion. While they were chasing me, he did the deed. Then I used the transinducer on myself. We'll rendezvous with my friend. We gotta find that egg before the translator does.
All right, but let's swing by and get your wife, too, because she's been worried sick about you.
My wife? I don't have a wife.
Uh-oh.
Very good, Tex. You continually impress.
The cryo chamber. It holds your answers. Don't let him find it.
Hey, Bowers. You're... No. What? Guys, for those who don't know, the guy wearing the hat appeared at the end of the last game, Overseer, and shot Tex and his then girlfriend Chelsea, and he is actually played by the game's cinematic director, Adrian Carr.
Welcome back, Tex. You certainly have a gift for making things interesting.
Yeah, it's a gift that just keeps on giving.
I assume you have no idea who we are.
People wearing
Let me just
masks.
save some time here. I have no memory of you or anything else since this bastard here shot me and my girlfriend 7 years ago.
Yes. Margaret made sure of that, didn't she? Willing to die just to keep you out of the equation, undermining me at every turn, right up until the end.
I need to know one thing. Did you kill Chelsea?
You could say that.
Don't move!
It's a long story, Tex. Maybe some other time.
Just tell me what happened to Chelsea.
Dalton, would you please answer Tex's question?
My pleasure. We'd stolen your speeder, of course. After I sedated you and Chelsea, you were taken to a place where we could search your memories for leads to Margaret Leonard's whereabouts. When that failed, I staged Chelsea's death, attempting to draw Leonard out of hiding. We left identifiable DNA inside your burned-out speeder.
Which, incidentally, was uninsured.
Leonard didn't fall for it, unfortunately. Eventually, we let Chelsea go. And I never saw her again.
She's alive.
This was all before I... returned. I've never seen Chelsea.
I haven't seen her either. As far as you know.
Bastard.
So Chelsea's alive. Somewhere.
I don't know. Or care.
Bastard.
And you are?
I am the translator.
Is translating your profession or a hobby?
Nice one,
It is my
Tex.
mission and my destiny.
Well, I guess that makes 1,000,002 questions that I have. Everything would be a lot easier if you just unlocked my memory.
I would if I could, Tex, believe me.
Yes, Harkonnen Drin. Richard
Unfortunately,
Norton.
Margaret took your trance key to her grave.
What? I'm supposed to believe that I'm on your guys' side for whatever's going on here?
That's right. We're all in this together.
We united in a common goal. It was a goal Margaret and I used to share many years ago. But she lost hope after I died.
You're Joe Hansen? Margaret
Snap.
Leonard's husband? The FBI agent who stole the Tesla cash?
And now things come together.
And I did. But when I learned what we'd taken from Tesla and buried in our vaults, what amazing technologies he had to offer the world, it became my dream to complete his work. But then I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I had little time left, so we decided that I should be preserved in a cryogenic state, in hopes that a cure could be found someday.
But now you're here, alive again. So who's the one who brought you back?
Margaret refused. She said it wasn't safe yet. I tried to pressure her and she disappeared.
In the end, it was Mason who completed the reanimation.
So what's it like?
Indescribable. I saw eternity. And I returned with a renewed sense of purpose. I finally saw the true vision of Tesla's work.
So if Mason brought you back, why did he turn against you?
Margaret can be very persuasive. I think she convinced Mason that my work was too risky.
No crap.
But she couldn't convince you, Tex.
I'm a little lost here. Why do you need me?
Margaret held one last piece of the puzzle. The Tesla egg. It is the nucleus of the atom. Without it, the spirit radio has little effect. But with it, the veil between living and dead will vanish, and we will all exist within the immortal coil. We have work to do. You're free to go, Tex.
These guys must be playing some kind of mind trick on me. This has got to be a setup of some kind.
Tex, buddy, I'm afraid I haven't been totally straight with you. But over the last 7 years, you have become a lying, womanizing, duplicitous, two-timing cutthroat who plays both sides against the middle for money, and is partners with the gentleman who just left the room. I thought you could just walk away from the person you'd become, but I see that fate may have something else in mind.
Day 7. Nightwolf, I agree, but I wouldn't say that it's weird that Tex didn't push the henchman. I would say that he was shocked, and then he started thinking about the fact that whether Chelsea was alive or not. I think that sort of influenced his thinking there. Mario Girl 86, the guy in the shades and the hat,
After I
is
returned from Say San,
the game's
I called
director.
Alt to tell him Mason Bowers had taken a 40-foot leap. The guy was so broken up, he hung up the phone. I'm not sure if Bowers' death ended Alt's interest in this whole sorry mess, but my gut tells me I'll need his help if I'm ever going to solve this case. I decided to visit St. Germain to find more information about the Tesla egg.
So, how goes the investigation? I don't suppose you have any news regarding that egg we talked about?
Well, everybody's talking about the Tesla egg, but I think I've got a lead.
I'm pausing it for a second, guys. Here's a cool thing. The armchair that Tex is sitting on right now is the same armchair that Saint Germain is sitting on. These guys weren't filmed at the same time. Nightwolf, I'm not sure what you should ask Mad Cat Plays, I don't know what you're thinking about asking Mad Cat Plays. I haven't caught that part in the chat. But Matt, I think, will be willing to reply to whatever question he can legally do so. Let's put it that way. Koala Man 108, most FMV games were awful because they were mishandled. They used FMV as a cost-cutting sort of measure and not for the purposes which other games like the Tex series did, where they used the FMV as a storytelling device because, you know, computer-generated characters couldn't emote as well as real actors, and yeah, I think that's why the Tex games handle FMV really, really well. You have story in FMV and gameplay in the game's engine. Other games didn't do that, and somehow they modeled it up. And I think it also helps when a game has really cool writing, which then helps with the acting, which then helps with the FMV. Another cool FMV game was, as far as I remember, because I haven't played it yet, but I think a lot of people are saying that have said online that Gabriel Knight 2, which was an FMV game, was actually pretty well handled. Yeah, Nightwolf, I agree. I agree that you should ask him. I think he would answer if he can and if he knows.
On it.
Ah, the egg of Columbus, the copper egg. Unveiled by Tesla at the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, it was the very heart of a small prototype that, some say, would become his most notorious invention.
You seem underwhelmed, and that's not good.
You know the story of Tunguska?
Well, I do now.
If you believe, as many do, that the Tunguska explosion was caused by the Tesla death ray, and you believe that the Tesla egg is a core component of the death ray, well, then the egg would be of immense fortune. Tell me, what do you believe, Mr. Murphy?
I believe you know a lot more than you're telling me.
Agreed.
Are you familiar with Paradise Lost?
Isn't that one of those resorts for swingers?
Paradise Lost is a poem about the great divide in heaven when Lucifer was cast out. After his banishment, Lucifer swore revenge and created an army of his own. He and his followers waited in darkness for their chance to strike back at the god who cast them out. After a 3-day battle against the faithful angels, the forces of evil were banished from heaven for all eternity.
Oh, I like it when the good guys win.
Yes. But what if the war were not over? What if Lucifer had not been defeated but lay in wait, preparing for his chance to overthrow heaven?
Well, debating hypothetical fairy tales is a little nerdy for me.
Look at the world around you. Did heaven win the battle? Man has created hell on earth.
True.
And the longer man exists, the further he descends from the wisdom and discernment needed to overcome the darkness. At his core, he's a grasping, clawing, foolish creature, willing to commit any sin to appease his base and greedy nature.
I thought I was jaded. You really think we're as bad as all that?
Yep, I do.
There are still some who give me hope.
Yeah, the people in chat.
You? I'm not sure about. Your role, whether for good or evil, has yet to be determined.
He's not so bad.
Nope.
Does he have the egg?
No, my dear. Entirely the wrong egg. An interesting trinket, to be sure, but not the egg I'm searching for.
Well, if it isn't Ariel Bowers. You know, I hope I pronounced that correctly because Bowers doesn't have a wife.
Great work, Detective. How long did that take to figure out?
Not long. After Bowers told me.
I have to confess, I haven't been totally honest with you on some things.
Just some?
I didn't know who you were when you first interrupted my own search of Bowers Place.
And what were you doing there?
I work for an organization you wouldn't have heard of. We're based out of St. Petersburg.
Florida.
Russia.
How about you?
I don't work for anyone. Just the greater good. And my own little passions, of course. Ariel and I have crossed paths on several occasions. This time we seem to have some objectives in common, so we pooled our resources.
Yeah, I'm well familiar with Ariel's resources.
Snap.
How common are your objectives and mine?
That depends. You the kind of man who lets innocent people die?
Not normally, no.
You've heard of the Tesla Legacy Society. At one time it had a membership of hundreds. After Charles Johansson died, the numbers dwindled. Some time ago, all those people vanished without a trace. I'd hoped to find some answers from Bowers.
Oh, I got news for you. He's not dead. He's back.
He's the translator, I presume.
The one building the immortal coil. You say you like it when the good guys win? You plan on doing anything about that?
Oh, sure. Leave it to me, as always. What are you two gonna do about it?
This is not my battle to fight.
He knows me. I won't be able to get close to him like you can.
You shall have to find the Tesla egg first. Of course.
Of course.
Great. I didn't even think of that. Well, if you don't have any more helpful tips...
Until we meet again, Mr. Murphy. And something tells me we will.
Until next time. Kiss for luck. You'll need it.
After visiting with St. Germain, the former Mrs. Bowers invites me to a place called the Resort and says she has information to exchange.